What do I do when I'm struggling with my mental health? I'd like to share some of those things with you. But before I do that, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Ghazala at the Heart and Soul Cafe. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. And if you're here for the very first time, welcome aboard. Many of you will know what my role is in life. I have a few hats that I wear. I'm a mental health first aid instructor, a workplace instructor. I'm also a bereavement counsellor. I've been supporting, counselling women who have lost children, who've experienced child loss. I also have lost my son. I lost my son 4 years ago. So I am grieving as well myself. And, you know, I do have to check in with my own mental health. And I've shared this in previous videos, how important that is in order for me to do the things I need to do in order to carry out my job roles. If I don't look after my own mental health, and I'll struggle. And I probably would, have some sort of emotional burnout where I wouldn't be able to carry on doing what I'm doing. And it does work because I've been doing this for a good, 3.5 years now. So it is working. But sometimes I am struggling with my own mental health because life happens and life's still going on. Life hasn't stood still. I haven't got to a point after losing my son that this is my new job role and this is my new meaning and purpose and now it's fixed, because life is never fixed. It's never stagnant. It's never stationary. It's always moving. It's always fluid. There's always things happening. I might be feeling that I'm functioning really well and I'm doing really well, and then something happens. Something else, something my loved ones, someone else may be struggling with their mental health, and I'm feeling their grief as well as my own grief because I'm emotionally connected with them. And then that might throw me. So there's all sorts of things that can happen, and other things happen as well. Other people might let you down, or life happens anyway. So what do? I have to check in on myself. I have to make sure I give grief time and attention and space, because if I don't do that, if I sort of think, oh, it's just there, I don't need to, I can just ignore it. Well, you can't. I know that I can't ignore it. I have to face up to things that are going on with me. And if I face up to them and I acknowledge them and I feel them, I can maybe process some of those symptoms. But if I'm trying to suppress them and, and hold them back, then I'm not dealing with things, and I'm not, it's going to come and, get me. It's not going to disappear. It's not going to go away. Things just don't go away. I know that. So when I am struggling with my own mental health, I do prayer. I do meditation. Meditation's really, really important because I think it just grounds you back, and it grounds me anyway, connects me back to myself. It releases stress. I do a kind of, I don't know if some of you may have heard of Wim Hof, and I've been doing this style of breath work, Wim Hof sort of breath work for, I think, about 5 years now. I think it's been about 5 years. And it's a lot of inhaling and exhaling and inhaling and exhaling and inhaling and exhaling. And then on an exhale, you then hold your breath. And I can now some mornings hold my breath for over 3 minutes, sometimes 3.5 minutes. And then, of course, I pass out. No, just joking. Just joking, I don't pass out. But it's actually really good for releasing stress. You actually feel the stress leaving your body. And the reason why I say that, and you think, well, how do you feel the stress leaving your body? You actually feel a heat. You feel a heat in the core of your body, in your stomach area. And as you then, stop the, holding your breath, and you actually take a breath back in, you actually feel that heat from your core, from your stomach, go down your legs. You actually feel the heat. Yeah. And that's actually your stress being sort of released, and it actually does work. And I know that if I don't do it, for example, we've got guests round, or we've gone somewhere where I've not got space to go in the morning to do my breath work, because it's something that you need a little bit of privacy to do, because someone may think that you're hyperventilating and you're gonna someone, if they heard you, they might think, it's quite loud in the way you breathe in and breathe out, or the way I do it anyway. So, someone may think, oh, what's going on there? So you do need some privacy to do that. What else do I do? That's really important, because it really does get rid of a lot of stress. I also do a little bit of cold exposure. And those of you who have heard of Wim Hof also may know that he was referred to as the Iceman. And he does cold exposure, and I've been doing that too. And before, 5 years ago, before I started doing it, there's no way anyone would get me into like a cold shower. No way. I'd be the coldest person, around. But doing the breathing exercises actually gets you into the right sort of frame of mind to expose yourself to the cold. And you can find that you can do it. And slowly, obviously, you can train yourself to sort of go into the cold. And the thinking behind it is that you're putting yourself into a stressful situation by putting yourself in the cold. And then while being in that cold, you sort of get your breath in control again. Because when you first go in, you go like that, and then you sort of calm yourself down. And by calming yourself down, you then you feel relaxed. So you've put your in a fight or flight situation, you've then put your rest and digest nervous system back into place, and that is then reflects in my whole life, my day-to-day life. So if I am ever in a stressful situation and I find that people around me are quite stressed, I'll probably be the most sort of calmest person around, because I've sort of trained myself to be in a stressful situation and stay calm. Okay. So I find that really, really helps. So yes, the meditation, the breathing, the cold exposure. The other thing is I need to eat healthily. I've shared in another video that if I eat a high carbohydrate diet and eat lots of sugars, my mental health sort of seems to deteriorate. And I don't know if anyone else agrees with this or anyone else has found this. If you have, please do, comment, because I'd really like to have that discussion. But I've noticed that if I don't watch what I eat, and I eat, highly processed food or sugary food, or, high sort of dense carbohydrate, simple carbohydrates, not complex, but simple carbohydrate foods, my mental health goes down, and I really do struggle. So I have to do that. I don't have a choice. So I do eat, good amount of protein, good fats, and very low sugar, really. And that helps. What else do I do? When my mental health is low, I make sure that I do something for myself. It might be a little bit of, sort of self-care, if you like, or pampering maybe. And that could be something simple as, having a bubble bath perhaps, or putting something bright on. You might sort of think, oh, she's got a bright pink shirt on. And there's a reason for it, actually. I do like bright colours, but I do find that sometimes when I'm feeling a bit low, I might go for those dark colours, those blacks and navy blues. And although I love navy blue and I love black, but to wear those colours when you're feeling a little bit low isn't always a good idea. Sometimes I then go for something really bright, like a bright colour, or something very, very pale in colour. And I find that sort of picks me up. Again, message, comment if you find the same thing. But wearing colour is something that I do, is my go-to to sort of pick me up sometimes. It might be highly patterned, or garment or a bright colour, as I'm doing today, just to give you that example as to how that works for me. Other things is I do have friends where I have sort of, I think you might resonate with you as well, that we all tend to sort of have friends where either we can have a serious conversation with them, and if we feel that, I need to sort of offload something, I need to sort of check in with so and so because that's the right person that there's a good listener, let's say, and you'll do that. Other times you could sort of feel, I just want to have a bit of a laugh, and I want to be around people that pick me up. Those positive people that when you've spent time with them, you feel better. And there's plenty of people that you might spend time with where you feel a bit drained afterwards. And I'm not really talking about people that might be talking about their struggles or their mental health struggles or their loss perhaps, and I do that a lot. I can still leave that conversation feeling, yeah, we've done some good, we got something good out of that. So it doesn't mean to say it has to be positive content. It's just that positive or negative energy people sort of leave and release. And some of you might know what I'm talking about, but I tend to be quite sensitive to those things, and I can be having a negative conversation. When I say negative, I mean we're not having a happy conversation about a happy topic. It might be loss, it might be poor mental health, but I still feel that person gives off a positive energy, yeah, and vice versa. It could be someone who gives a negative sort of energy off, and they might be talking about something quite pleasant, but I still leave that conversation or leave that meeting feeling a bit deflated. Do you know what I mean? And I think, so be around. So when I'm feeling a bit low, I don't want to be around people that will make me feel more negative than I'm already feeling. I need to be around people that give me a pickup, even if we're talking about not so happy things. So, yeah. And those are the main things that I do. So, yeah, the breathing, the cold exposure, the eating well, and exercise. Exercise is a thing as well. I do plenty of walking. I try and get at least 6,000 steps, but mostly 10,000 steps in, sometimes a bit more if there's extra, time. But I do walk quite a lot. Something that I've just recently started is wall Pilates. Don't know if you've ever tried it. I've never done it before, just started it. I sort of do a fair bit of yoga and done a lot of yoga in my life, and that helps. And it's all about, sort of tunes in with your meditation and your breathing as well. So yoga is good for that grounding and connection. But yes, a little bit of wall Pilates I've started just recently, and I found that that's quite good. It's sort of just helped to sort of strengthen your muscles and your joints, really. So yeah, that's been good. I have to force myself to do it, but once I've done it, I'm quite happy that I've done it. I'm quite pleased with myself that I've done it. I'm only doing that wall Pilates, I think, for like a 15-minute little workout, and forcing myself to do a 15-minute workout is probably the best it's going to get at the moment. If it was any longer, I probably would say, I'll start tomorrow. And I probably would never start tomorrow. So yeah, a little bit of something that you can manage is a good thing. Is there anything else I do? There was something else that was popping into my head and I seem to have forgotten. Can't think. But those are the main things. Those are the main things I do to help with my mental health. If I'm struggling, those are my go-tos. Do comment, what's your go-to? What do you do when you're feeling a little bit low, when you're mentally sort of struggling a little bit? What kind of things do you do? Let's get a conversation going. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the content of this video. Do share if you think that somebody is struggling and might be some good ideas in the content of this video. Do share it. do like, do subscribe. Thank you to those who have subscribed already. I really do appreciate it, but we need many more, so please do subscribe. And otherwise, thank you for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, look after your hearts and souls.